We now come to the first of our presentations. This will be delivered by Mr. Rudolph Cleveringa, and it is entitled International Cooperation in Supporting Pakistan's Water Agenda.
Indeed, a great honor and pleasure to be here with you, trying to accelerate and make the messages of the Hisaar Foundation and the think tank in particular even more attractive for debate and uptake and hence action at all levels that were indicated by speakers before me. Now, when I think about things before me, I've actually never been in such a transparent situation. So I hope all dialogue in the next couple of days will be as transparent, with a healthy ecosystem, with clean water, not just now, but also for the future, and with fresh air. So I think this whole way of speaking is a very illustration of the way we want to engage the future generations, but also those, of course, who are in the room. I'm afraid, oh, here's my little beeper. So let's see if it works. Is there a way to put up the whole sequence? Oh, I do have to point it there. Well, let's see what happens. I hope something is more happening in Pakistan than with my ways of trying to do this. There must be a young lady in the room that knows how to do this. Changing batteries might help from time to time, but it doesn't need to be the real reason. It must be uploaded somewhere, yes. Yeah, to Sana, I think it was. Yeah. All right, these things happen. So, in spite of this minor inconvenience, the structure actually of my presentation is nothing else but a small public relation intervention on the Global Water Partnership, which of course has its roots here in Pakistan. First of all, let me remind you that Pakistan, together with Hungary, also present in the room, virtue of its ambassador, were the founding fathers of the Global Water Partnership some good 20 years back. So Pakistan is in our blood, in our live stream. And that's one thing. And they are still very supportive of the Global Water Partnership. Now, what's the Global Water Partnership all about? It is about something that you're fighting for every day, towards water security, a society, an all-inclusive society working towards water security. What does that society look like? Well, we have an image which looks like a pizza, and we'll see it if and when it comes up on the screen later on. Oh, here it comes. And that pizza will show you how, with the difference as compared to the Hisaar Foundation, we have a broader audience by intention. So let me see what and if it works. First of all, I think this is why we are here. The future of water, particularly in Pakistan. And if you allow me, I will interrupt from time to time. This is your photo moment, your Kodak moment, only they went out of business, and I hope Pakistan does not. So this is the key message for the next couple of days. Pakistan, wake up. The future of water. So where are we on a water secure world? You will see, intriguingly enough, that the Global Water Partnership is in the colored dots, in the colored countries, in the global south, basically. So it's an agreement between the global south countries to engage on water security. And again, we are very proud that Pakistan is an active member of that driving force amongst these countries. So what's our formula? In order to get to policies, enhance good practices, we need knowledge. We need knowledge, not just academic knowledge, we need indigenous knowledge, we need knowledge from the young generations. If we couple that knowledge to what we call a multi-stakeholder platform, the famous MSP, we think that people informed with knowledge can actually drive those changes towards policies which will enhance the water security. So here's a couple of words that you're all familiar with. The Global Water Partnership is working on integrated water resources management, not as an end, but as a means towards that end of water security. You see what we call here a wedding cake. We were reminded by the Vice Chancellor of the university that the university produces new generations, but in order to do so you have to go through a wedding, and this is the wedding cake. What does the wedding cake show? You will see on the lower right-hand bottom the whole water dimension, the Sustainable Development Goal 6. You're all familiar with that, right? I do not get feedback from the room, so you're all familiar with that. All right, very good. Now, what's that little cherry on the cake? What's that blue dot on the cake? What might that be? You can't have good eyes, not that good, and maybe the slide is not good anyway. It's basically the partnerships. It's the SDG number 17, often forgotten. But when I am reminded by the Hisaar Foundation and its think tank that it is working towards a citizens' water policy in Pakistan, that cherry on the cake is driving it. Okay, so I refer to the pizza. This is the way the Global Water Partnership is composed. You see in the lower brownish corner under there, the government, but to your surprise maybe, you will see that a far bigger part of the pizza is non-government. And that's the beauty of the Global Water Partnership. That creates, if you want, a neutral platform, that creates a possibility of different sectors of society, not just ministerial sectors, please, different sectors of society to come together at different scales. So from the city to the basin, the watershed, including the groundwater, and let's not forget the neighbors. The transboundary dimension is also part of the way we are composed. So you've now seen why we work, you've seen where we work, and you've seen who we are. So, let this just sink in for 2 seconds. Anyone familiar with the gentleman on the left-hand top of the slide? No? Yes, I see a finger. All right. Can I have some more? No. Yes, 2 fingers. Anyone else? No. Governor of California, representing the other America. Not the DC, not Washington. The other America. That exists as well. So what is he challenging? He's challenging his own constituency and going ahead with the international agreements. You've seen several international agreements. Yeah? Not just the Paris Agreement on climate change, but also, of course, the New York Agreement, which we call Agenda 2030. The Sendai Agreement, which is on disaster risk reduction. The Quito Agreement, which is on habitat, and hence people, human rights, and all the things that have to do with urban development. And the last one, in Addis, it was, we were reminded by Simi, the founding mother of the foundation, that we want to engage more with banks. Now, why would we want to engage more with banks? We need their money. Simple as that. Okay, so that's what's being challenged here. Then there's something that I particularly would like to engage you on. I'm in this hotel, this Mövenpick. Half of its guests are from China. Why would they be here? Well, it seems that they're here because there's a new big belt and a one road going on. And one of those trajectories goes straight through Pakistan, right? It doesn't cut it in half horizontally, it cuts it in east and west once more. So I hope to be able, that you yourselves will challenge yourselves in asking yourselves, are we ready for that development? Are we water secure? Are we energy secure to engage in this trade, not just with China, but from other countries through Pakistan towards China? And what's the water dimension? So that's a challenging development. Last but not least, you see a graph here of migration patterns, if you want, and we'll get back to that. That's challenging as well. Now, I'm afraid that that big black word on top, corruption, is with us. It's not just financial corruption, it's also moral corruption. The moral corruption starts with exclusion, of not having an all of society development. And there's plenty of losers in Pakistan, people who are disenfranchised, disempowered. And we have to think in those terms as well when we think of the challenges ahead. You see on the left-hand corner, and I really didn't go into the detail, but basically that's where you find billions of dollars coming from remittances going into Pakistan. I got 3 fingers. Is that 3 minutes? Excellent. You've got remittances coming. Now, some part of the remittances seem to be stable. Other parts of the remittances may well be unstable, which, by the way, happens to be the biggest blob. Some $2 billion coming from the Gulf. And the Gulf is not exactly a stable environment. Is Pakistan ready to reabsorb? Oh, I like that, for effect. Is Pakistan ready to bring back the people who make this $2 billion in the Gulf and give them water security? Question. I have no answer to that. You see a distribution in the lower left-hand side of literacy. Obviously, literacy follows water. Or does water follow literacy? But the green zone is definitely the area where you have your Indus++. Now, Indus++ or not all Pakistanis gain from the water security that the Indus offers. That's the blue bars. As you can see, the sum of the 2 right-hand blue bars is far larger. That's poverty. And last but not least, you see that Pakistan is in the red in terms of conflict potential. So let's use that new water policy at the national level, at the provincial level, at the city level, municipal, whatever you call it, to defuse that challenge that is coming at us. So, in a nutshell, wake up, Pakistan. Wake up, because the gentleman on the top right-hand corner is not your famous terrorist. He is your UN system representative. He is the Speaker of the UN in your country. And he has made it very clear that water scarcity is bigger in terms of threat than terrorism. Now, for the UN to say something like that is a revolution. And I hope that we have an opportunity to meet with the honorable representative. By the way, you've already read all the bullet points on the screen, so I'm not going to do it. But I'd like to close this particular slide with what Simi Kamal had said: educate and empower the mothers, and you will have the reform. So I can only echo that. Since we're in Karachi, I'm now drinking bottled water from Norway. Where does the bottled water come from? I don't know, it comes from far away somehow. And that's probably because of that newspaper clipping I found while waiting for the shuttle to the hotel. So what are we doing as Global Water Partnership? We've heard of the engagement with the university. we try to contribute. The gentleman there is holding up a publication that I have in my bag and I forgot to bring to the podium here. This is Angel Gurria from OECD making a point that water security is unlocking economic, social and environmental development. And I think I'll stop with that. Last but not least, I want to point out, and I'm extremely pleased to see this in the room as well, a very high proportion of ladies in the audience, but as well for youth. We bank on women, we call that then the gender dimension, and youth. As you can see on the left-hand corner, I've left some 50 copies with the foundation, and if you want, I'll sign them if they ever get distributed. The lower right-hand corner is a youth initiative, and with that my time is up, and I'll stop right here, not taking you anything. I'm a bit fearful of dropping this in the water, but it doesn't. So, Pakistan, there you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insights. We are joined today by His Excellency Istvan Szabo, Ambassador of Hungary to the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. His Excellency's presentation is on water, the new link between Hungary and Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to everyone. Honorable Governor, Mr. Muhaid Zubair, respected Chairman Wabda, Mr. Muzammil Hussain, dear participants of the third Karachi Water Conference, ladies and gentlemen, allow me first of all to congratulate to the Hisaar Foundation and express our appreciation for the organizers, and special thanks to Ms. Simi Kamal and Mr. Zuhair Ashir, the current chairperson, for the dedicated work preparing this very important event. Today, water is the most endangered natural resource. That is why we must transform the issue of water into the most important question of political thought and action. This is the motto of our water diplomacy, which ranks high on the priority list in Hungary. My country has, in the past 4 years, organized 2 international water conferences under the patronage of the President of the Republic, Mr. János Áder. Our embassy would like to take this message to Pakistan as well. We are hopeful that we will be able to share with Pakistani experts the Hungarian know-how, the best practices, and to enhance sustainable water management. As an ambassador of Hungary here, my main duty is to build bridges between our countries. When I met the representatives of the Hisaar Foundation, I immediately realized that in this building activity, the Hisaar Foundation will be an important brick, an important element, an important link. This non-profit organization dedicated itself to the improvement of Pakistan's water, food and livelihood safety situation in 2003, recognizing the need for appropriate solutions to Pakistan's water challenges. The founders invited professionals, public and private companies, NGOs, and individuals from across the whole society, forming the motivated group of people who insistently work on provision of a better quality of life for their fellow citizens. The Urban and Rural Water Partnership, the Women and Water Network, the Universities for Water Network, the emergency support campaigns developed and delivered responses to various disaster situations. The numerous regional initiatives all show that a lot can be done by committed and structured efforts. The Hisaar Foundation gives a pattern not only for Pakistani stakeholders, but for the international community as well, and hopefully boosts effective action by all, as we need commitment from all over the world regarding water challenges. My country, Hungary, and my government also pay high attention to optimal use of the available water resources. Hungary is a small country of 10 million population, and we are in the Carpathian Basin. We are lucky to have the adequate quantity of water. However, 95% of our water comes from the neighboring countries. Thanks to the deliberate water security strategy, Hungary has an outstanding water infrastructure system. 97.4% of the wastewater is treated, and integrated water resources management, what is an effective way to strengthen resilience for disaster risk reduction and climate change adoption, has reached 80%. In recognition of the Hungarian efforts and activities, the Hungarian President, János Áder, was invited to the United Nations High-Level Panel on Water in 2016. The establishment of the high-level panel was mandated by the UN Secretary General and the President of the World Bank group, consisting 11 heads of state and government. The panel issued an action plan for a new approach to water management in 2016 that will help the water to achieve the 2030 agenda, which addresses pressing water-related issues, including universal and equitable access to safe drinking water and sanitation, pollution, water quality, water scarcity, and water use efficiency. Hungary actively supports the work of other water-related international platforms, among others the World Water Council, Global Water Partnership, and the Global Water Leaders. We are regular participants of the annual World Water Week in Stockholm, organized by the Stockholm International Water Institution. The Budapest Water Summit in 2016, hosted by the Hungarian government, focused on the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The summit, which was attended by 2,000 participants, called for a new global political architecture to strengthen water resource cooperation and management and achieve greater water security in the face of environmental challenges, climate change, population growth, and urbanization. Among the 58 high-level delegations, we were very pleased to welcome the Pakistani delegation led by Chairman of WAPDA, and we were very happy to meet the representatives of the Hisaar Foundation also as members of the Pakistani delegation at this important World International event. As a follow-up of the Budapest Water Summit, a Department for Water Diplomacy and Tide Aid Credits was set up within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade in Hungary. The new organizational structure has manifold objectives like expanding Hungary's economic ties with its partners, raising awareness to the global water crisis, improving the effectiveness of the international architecture on water, and contributing to the prosperity of future generations. At this third Karachi International Water Conference, Hungary is represented by a strong delegation coming from the Budapest Water Works. Hungary's major water utility service, provider and operator of the most sophisticated wastewater treatment facility in Central Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I am happily reporting you that our embassy initiated a project which is a kind of a photo exhibition and a publication, but this is related to water. We invited a Pakistani photo artist to Hungary, and a Hungarian photo artist came to Pakistan recently. There will be an exhibition, Hungary through Pakistani eye, and Pakistan through Hungarian eye. But The subject of this exhibition is water. Water in Hungary, water in Pakistan. And also, what are the risks and what are the challenges? Hopefully, by mid-March, an exhibition will be ready. And I am also glad to inform you that we are planning to bring the exhibition not only to Islamabad, but also to Karachi and Lahore as well. I hope to meet many of you at that event as well. Thank you very much for your attention.